do that and I'll go through it. All right, so the first one, there's a couple cats we could do this with. I'll probably flip them around. But the sartorius, okay, so that's this, for the cat, this thick, wide muscle, but it's very thin, but a wider section coming right down the thigh, the sartorius. And another superficial muscle that used to be right next to it is the gracilis. So the gracilis muscle and the sartorius. In the human body, it's the longest muscle in the human body, sartorius, okay? And next, the tensor fasciae lati, so with the sartorius lifted up. Here's a great view of it. I'll just kind of turn it a little bit. So the tensor fasciae lati, and you could identify it with the fascia lata hanging off of it. We get another view right here. Yeah, this little triangular muscle, tensor fasciae lati, and it looks like the fascia lata has kind of been trimmed off here. Well, it's got to be good. Right here you go. Tensor fasciae lati, again, you could identify the fascia lata hanging off. Okay. The quadriceps, so with the sartorius reflected out of the way, you have these four muscles right in here. So there's the vastus medialis, there's the rectus femoris that's lifted up, the vastus lateralis, and between vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, it's called the vastus intermedius. And let's quickly flip this over. We can probably see that here. So sartorius again is at the surface. You can see here they slice the rectus femoris in half. So vastus medialis, medial, vastus lateralis, lateral, and deep to the rectus femoris, and here, vastus intermedius. Okay, what do we have next? The adductors. Okay, it should be nice. And who had a nice pectineus? Okay, so we had the gracilis at the surface. We fold that back. And since we're here, let's just do all of these in order. So folding back the superficial gracilis, there's first down here, the semitendinosus. And then there's the thicker semimembranosus. This next thick one here is, you could call it adductor magnus, or the correct name is adductor femoris. Then we have this thin one here, that is adductor longus. And then the next one, the real small one there, the pectineus. So that was all deep to gracilis, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, adductor femoris, aka adductor magnus, adductor longus, and a little tiny pectineus. And okay, so we could do that. Some people worked on that today. Right in here, so moving on to the leg. So some of you still need to do this for your dissection plan. But right here, there's the tibialis anterior. You notice there's the tibia. The tibialis anterior. And then now slightly deep to it, the extensor digitorum longus. And then this next one over here, the fibularis longus. It's lateral by the fibula. And the obliques. So Julie did that, right? I think that's over here. So you see in this cat, we've opened up the abdominal region. So it used to be all folded up like so. And on this, you know, there's a long side, a short side, how we cut it. The longer side, if you fold this back right at the surface, there's the external oblique, the first layer. The second layer right here is the internal oblique. And then you can see how it's kind of separated at this point. This deepest layer, that's the transversus abdominis. So you got 1, 2, and 3 layers. The rectus abdominis, well, keep in mind this long side would have been in the middle, right? So there's the rectus sheath, and we're folding it out. And you can see they exposed half of the rectus abdominis. So it's here, and we still need to remove this white tissue, but right in here, the rectus abdominis. We're just viewing it from the deep side. So that piece used to be right in the middle. Okay. The pectoralis muscle group. So right here, just looking at the chest. And there are distinct muscles that we're not separating, major and minor, and then some that are unique to cats, but right on the chest, this is a really nice one. Pectoralis muscle group. Trapezius. Flip over this one here. So that's the big flaps right here, the trapezius. You can see, no, latissimus dorsi? Or trapezius? Trapezius, wrong one. Right into here, okay, from the back of the neck going down here is all the trapezius. You can see one side's been cut away, one side's fully intact for the trapezius. The serratus anterior and the linea alba. We still have to work on the rectus abdominis to clearly show it, but there's a white line, linea alba, going right down the middle of the rectus abdominis. So when the two sides are cleared off, you'll see the white linea alba. The serratus anterior, we're looking in the area of the armpit, axillary region. And you're just seeing kind of the branching fan-shaped muscle right into here. And I think you guys did that on this cat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right in here. That's a great view, serratus anterior. All across here. The subscapularis teres major. Okay, this side. So that's why we took down a portion of the trapezius, fold it down. And when you flip the whole scapula around, on this side here, this is the subscapularis. And a teres major, when we turn the scapula back around, it's this muscle hanging off the lateral border. Right in here. Okay. Epitrochlearis and biceps. So you notice over here, we had the pectoralis muscle group, and they took a portion of the pectoralis muscles, and you see folded it upwards. So right here is a great view, both sides actually. The biceps brachii for the cat, you notice, is a deeper muscle. And the epitrochlearis is now this one at the surface that's just next to the biceps. And it's loose on both sides. Epitrochlearis, the deeper muscle for the cat. Fold that up, biceps brachii. And that's that page. The pronator teres, we'll come back to those. Let's go to the dorsal part. All right, so biceps femoris, this big muscle right here. So everybody's cat should have that folded out, biceps femoris. And we already pointed out the tensor fasciae lati. Let's see one that's really intact right here, okay. We pointed out semimembranosus, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, or if you view it from this side, you see it's connected, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, just view it from the dorsal side. The gluteal muscles, so we have, make sure I'm pointing at the right thing, the gluteus medius, the gluteus maximus, and then next is caudofemoralis. Caudofemoralis is this little thin strip, and we could just go ahead and separate it from the biceps femoris. Well, it's not thin on this cat. Nothing small on this cat. So the biceps femoris, caudofemoralis, gluteus maximus, gluteus medius. Gastrocnemius soleus. You just saw that here. So you can lift up the biceps femoris. That used to cover the gastrocnemius, the superficial, thick Whereas the deeper, thin muscle, this is the soleus. And you can see both of those used to be connected to the calcaneal tendon. Used to go down to the heel, just like that. Okay. So the trapezius, we cut it on one side, we kept it intact on the other side, and there's 3 segments. There's the upper trapezius on the neck. The middle trapezius comes over the scapula, that's the one we folded back. And then the lower trapezius goes right against the latissimus dorsi. In fact, they're separated. Latissimus dorsi, lower trapezius, middle trapezius, and upper. That's that whole page. Alright, so we folded the middle trapezius down, and we pull out the scapula, and we can see the rhomboid muscle group right in here, as well as we already pointed out the subscapularis. But now on this side we have a supraspinatus. You can feel the spine of the scapula, and then down here the infraspinatus, and again the teres major. The deltoid, oh yeah, right in here, it's a nice view. And again, there's 3 parts, like the trapezius. So we lifted up the anterior deltoid. There's a middle deltoid and a posterior deltoid. Those 3 pieces. Anterior, middle, posterior for the deltoid. There's the next page. So that's still deltoid. And then the triceps. Adelina, is this one of the cats you worked on?
No.
We put it away?
Yeah.
Or, well, we could do that later. So that's a good amount already, okay? So kind of working together, we at least got to see everything. So how much time do we have left? We got till 9:45. But definitely let's start to put away the microscopes and the slides.